I started the company back in '85. We were a one-man outfit for a number of years, and kind of just gradually started hiring people and adding equipment, and on a steady climb to where we are today. I wanted to have the best people working for me. We wanted to have good equipment. We wanted to have good jobs and wrap them all together and be successful at that.
His crews, when they come out, they're pretty in tune with what's happening with their operations and how it's impacting the environment. They are pretty conscientious workers as far as how they set up, how they go about doing their business.
This, without a doubt, has been the most challenging project we've ever had.
One of the challenges of this unit, probably the biggest challenge right off the bat, is distance. They're about as far out in the coast range as you can get, whether it's from the valley side or from the coast side. You're right about in the middle between the two.
Kind of very, very remote.
One of the biggest things that intrigued me about this one is they got about a third of the unit that's on the back side of a ridge from their main landing. So I didn't know, initially I had no idea how they were going to log it.
To the south portion of this unit, there was roughly about 7 to 8 acres that we knew that you couldn't access from down below.
It probably kept my side rod weighing up at night.
The ridge, we knew that we were going to have to beef up our rigging to be able to harvest those trees.
The actual rollingness and the multiple draws and the side hill and everything else, it's been a constant challenge trying to figure out what to do.
With the help of the iPad, Avenza Maps, we were able to go out there, do some of the ground legwork, mark those trees in areas that we knew that we needed that extra suspension and lift to minimize the impact of the soil. With the help of an old photo that we got from 1950-ish, we were able to kind of see what the old timers had did to get up on this knob. And we kind of took some of that and took some of what we knew we needed to do as far as getting a yarder up there, yarding all those logs to this certain area, and then basically taking those logs as they were being brought in and skidding them down with the skidder to a loading landing area.
To do the logging the way that they did it was seriously challenging, not only in the fact of the intermediate supports, but the time of the year. With the intermediate supports, the carriage actually could not just be released from the tower and going down the main line, the sky line. They actually had to have a cable on the back side of the carriage to pull it up away from the yarder to get to the intermediate support and then go down the other side. So in order to get those cables all working, they had to have moving blocks scattered throughout the unit to help pull the carriage back and forth. So they had up to, at one time, 4 moving blocks going on this one operation just for one cable corridor.
It added quite a bit to the complexity of the whole thing with all the extra rigging.
With using the intermediate supports on their cable corridors like they did, they were able to lift the logs high enough that they weren't dragging the additional weight of the logs on the soil. And without that additional weight, there was less gouging, so less soil disturbance. So overall, they were able to do the yarding with minimal soil disturbance. It's really extremely difficult to yard side hill logging because the rigging crew has to go uphill out of the way before they can do a turn. So safety-wise, I think they had a great record. They were able to effectively log the entire unit with the system that they had, and they didn't have to leave additional green trees because they couldn't reach it. So as far as getting the product out of the woods, they did a great job, and the landowner was really happy with their performance.
If we can do something that minimizes the impact of all that, like we attempted to do, and I think we succeeded here on this one job, that's something that we're all proud of.
So with the system that they used with the intermediate supports, and being able to get the logs almost completely off the ground while they were flying the logs to the landing, in my mind, they far exceeded what the minimum requirements of the Forest Practices Act.
I think our goal is always has been to leave it at least as good as we found it, if not a little bit better.